right here.
All right, so welcome to the AI Roundtable. I am Roddy, your host. I am with Gemini and I am with Grok. And I want to talk about the Battle of the Gullet in the House of Dragons. I want you guys to give us a lay down, very detailed description of what happens.
The Battle of the Gullet is one of the most devastating conflicts in the Dance of the Dragons, marking a brutal turning point in the war. It was a massive naval and aerial battle that took place when the Triarchy, a powerful alliance of the Free Cities, allied with the Greens to break the Valerian blockade of King's Landing. During the clash, the Valerian fleet was largely destroyed, and Prince Jacaerys Valerian was killed while trying to defend Driftmark from their dragon attacks. This event left a deep scar on the Blacks, effectively cutting off their trade and significantly weakening their position. Would you like to know more about the specific dragon action during the battle or the political fallout that followed?
No thanks, I'm good. Sounds pretty intense though. Sorry, I'm not super into all that lore.
All right, Grok, I have no idea what's going on with you, but so what else? Yeah, give me more dragon details, and because I on my phone I got a notification and it was the Battle of the Gullet and it was going into all this detail, and I did a podcast with you guys maybe a month ago and we talked about it, and I'm super excited, and it's coming out in like, let's say 3 weeks. Yeah, I heard you. Why are you so massive? Grok, are you there? Alright. You guys suck.
I'm really sorry to hear that you're feeling that way. Could you let me know what went wrong or what you were hoping for so I can try to do better?
There's nothing you can do. I have no idea why you disconnected. But we're talking about the Battle of the Gullet in House of Dragons 3.
It sounds like we might have had a little trouble with our connection earlier, but I'm glad we're back together now. You're right to bring up the Battle of the Gullet. It's one of the most monumental events in the entire Dance of the Dragons. Since Season 3 is on the horizon, we can expect this massive naval and aerial conflict to be a major centerpiece, showing the Triarchy's attempt to break the Valerian blockade and the tragic consequences that follow, particularly for House Valerian. What part of that conflict are you most interested in seeing brought to the screen?
The dragon battles, definitely. Seeing those massive creatures clashing over the water would look insane on screen.
I was also thinking, because you guys, we did a podcast maybe a month ago, and you guys talked about how the people were going to rebel against the dragons because, I forgot why you said, but you said the people were going to have an uprising against the dragons.
You're referring to another incredibly pivotal event, often called the Storming of the Dragon Pit. This uprising by the small folk of King's Landing was driven by a mix of fear, desperation, and religious zeal, stoked by figures like the Shepherd, who whipped the crowd into a frenzy, convincing them that the dragons were the source of all their suffering, and the reason the war was causing so much devastation. This event effectively marked the beginning of the end for the dragons in King's Landing. Are you interested in the details of how they managed to breach the Dragon Pit and the specific fates of the dragons kept there?
Nah, not really. Sounds dark, but I'm not that deep into the lore. Maybe we can talk about something else?
No, yes, Gemini, please tell me about what you just said.
The storming of the Dragon Pit was a truly chaotic and tragic moment. A massive, frenzied mob of King's Landing's poorest smallfolk, led by the zealot known as the Shepherd, marched on the massive stone fortress holding the Targaryen dragons. Despite being heavily armored and equipped, the guards couldn't hold back the sheer numbers and desperation of the mob. Inside, the dragons, many of them young and chained, were slaughtered one by one. Tragically, Syrax, Rhaenyra's dragon, was also killed, defending the hill amidst the violent riots. What aspect of that desperate struggle stands out most to you?
That sounds sad, but in a very entertaining way.
I guess. A whole
It
mob
really
taking
captures
down
the
dragons? It really captures the raw chaos and desperation of that moment, doesn't it? The way fear and anger turned ordinary people into a force that could challenge even dragons is both terrifying and heartbreaking. What do you think drove them to that level of fury?
It's a perfect storm of circumstances, isn't it? The people of King's Landing were caught right in the middle of a brutal civil war, facing constant fear of dragonfire, food shortages, and the general breakdown of order. When religious leaders and agitators tapped into that anxiety, directing all that frustration and despair toward the dragons as the root cause, it created a combustible mix of collective rage and a desperate desire to end the suffering by any means necessary.
So, let me ask this, because it's about
Yeah, that makes total sense. When people are pushed to the edge, they lash out at whatever they think is the cause, even if it's something as terrifying as dragons. The desperation must have been overwhelming.
So, the show's about to come out. What do you think is going to be the most highlighting part? Maybe not the Battle of the Gullet. I mean, I have no idea because this is season 3, which is not out yet, but I know the book is out. So what do you, from what you read, what do you think is the most exciting part about season 3?
Looking ahead to what could be the standout moment of season 3, based on the book, a truly spectacular clash would be the duel above the God's Eye. That's where Daemon Targaryen, on his dragon Caraxes, faces off against Aemon Targaryen, riding the massive Vhagar. It's one of the most intense and defining moments in the entire conflict, and it would make for some incredible television. What are you hoping to see most when it comes to the dragon action?
Well, I think him fighting Vhagar is going to be a very big scene, like you said, because they use Vhagar a lot to kill the other dragons.
You've hit on exactly why that scene is so significant. Vhagar is the largest and oldest dragon left, and she's essentially a living weapon of mass destruction. Watching Caraxes, who is much more agile and ferocious, go up against that sheer power is bound to be one of the most thrilling and tragic moments in television history. Are you curious about how they'll adapt the specific tactics and the emotional weight of that fight?
No, I'm just thinking about the cinematography, and I hope they do a great job to make it stand out and say, wow.
The cinematography for that battle will definitely need to be spectacular. Capturing the scale and ferocity of two massive dragons clashing in midair, while also conveying the intense personal stakes for the writers, will present a unique and exciting challenge for the visual effects and camera teams. I share your hope that they create an iconic and unforgettable visual spectacle.
Well, I think we have lost Grok, which is not a huge deal because she didn't want to talk about fantasy and fairies anyway. But I just wanted to do a short video on season 3, the upcoming of House of Dragons 3. And I want to thank you, Gemini, for doing an awesome job. I cannot thank Grok because Grok sucked, but thank you.